Well, folks, another year has ended, which means it is once again time for the Scary Story Guy to procrastinate for a couple of weeks before making his year-end top 10 list. A hallowed tradition, truly. So welcome back, everybody. I'm Jake, the aforementioned Scary Story Guy, and before we dive into the top 10 horror films of 2024, I just want to do a quick vibe check. What did we learn this year? First thing we learned is that Blumhouse is cooked. I think maybe some of us knew that already, but let's just take a look at what that august studio shat upon our screens this year. 4 movies: Night Swim, Imaginary, Speak No Evil, and Afraid. I believe that's what the kids would call a big oof. That's 3 of the year's 5 worst horror films, indisputably. And then Speak No Evil, which took a very good foreign horror film and just turned it into an American exercise in mediocrity. We also learned this year that if you're friends with a nun and she gets pregnant for whatever reason, you should probably clear out for a while. She might be a tough hang. Sadly, neither Immaculate nor The First Omen are going to appear on this top 10 list, but I do just want to acknowledge that I saw both nun pregnancy demon movies this year, and I liked them. But I think the most important lesson we learned in 2024, or at least the most important lesson that we must learn in 2024, is that the time travel slasher movie just has to die. Listen, I like Totally Killer as much as the next guy. Very fun movie. Thank you to 2023 for bringing it to us. But 2024 said, what if we tried to replicate the 80s nostalgia slasher movie with a great script by churning out not 1 but 2 early 2000s nostalgia slasher movies with dog shit scripts? The 2 worst horror movies I saw in 2024 were Y2K and Time Cut, both of which embarked on the fairly bewildering project of trying to make people remember fondly the years between 1999 and 2003. I just think personally, if you're gonna make nostalgia bait, you should probably set it in a time period that didn't suck ass. So with all that said, what about 2024? When I get nostalgic for the year that brought us Cynthia Erivo tearfully holding space for things while Ariana Grande clutched onto one of her knuckles, one singular knuckle, the sitting president of the United States struggling to hold space for his own sentience in a nationally televised debate, and even this miserable Angels fan holding space for one Dodgers championship, because A, they were playing the Yankees, and B, that Freddie Freeman Grand Slam was just that cool. Only one, though. If they win again, I'll kill myself. Yes, indeed, there is much to look back on from 2024, but what are the horror movies I'll remember most fondly? Let's start with number 10, a French horror film called Infested, which made my skin crawl to an insane degree. It's spiders, guys. Thousands of them. Big ones, little ones, fast ones, even faster ones. All of them terrorizing the most annoying characters you will see this year. Number 9, speaking of annoying people, have you ever wondered what a Reddit atheist would be like if he were charming and charismatic? Unrealistic, I know, but we can take some liberties with our art. Hugh Grant stars in Heretic, a fascinating film about a man who kidnaps a pair of female Mormon missionaries and attempts to dissuade them of their faith. I didn't think it totally stuck the landing, but Heretic at least gets points for being original and audacious, and frankly for having the most riveting first hour of any movie I saw in theaters last year. Number 8, this one just kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't on my radar at all, but to me it ended up being one of the year's hidden horror gems. I'm talking about Late Night with the Devil, which stars David Dastmalchian as a 1970s late-night talk show host who inadvertently invites demonic forces into living rooms all around the country. This is a fiercely watchable movie. There's not a boring moment. And in case you're wondering, yes, the 1970s, that is an appropriate time period to nostalgize. Nostalgize, is that a word? Probably not. I don't care. Number 7, a very rare situation. We have here a franchise that started out being total ass cheeks, but just gets better and better with each successive installment. I'm speaking, of course, about Terrifier 3, a very normal, subdued film in which a man's butthole was holding space for a chainsaw. How great would that be, by the way, if you just got Lauren Levira and David Howard Thornton on the next press tour for Terrifier 4, just the breakdown crying every time someone tells him they like the movie. He's dressed up as Art the Clown, just barely holding it together while the interviewer is like, it really meant something to people when you crammed those rats down that lady's throat, and he's like, I didn't know that was happening. Of course, we all knew Trap was happening, the latest offering from M. Night Shyamalan. Lord knows we saw the trailer enough. But folks, it comes in at number 6 on this list. Trap is a ton of fun. It's a classic Shyamalan twist, only it gets revealed in the trailer and like 10 minutes into the movie. And I, for one, love a film with a feel-good message. Just because you are a vicious serial killer with absolutely no conscience whatsoever doesn't mean you can't be a good dad. Is that not what you guys took away from this movie? All right, folks, we are officially into the top 5. And this summer, all we heard about was Long Legs. Long Legs, Long Legs, Long Legs. It's the scariest movie of all time. The devil himself could not have crafted such a terrifying film. Theaters across the land will reek of piss and fear. Turns out the actual best horror film of the summer was Oddity, a low-budget Irish film about a woman investigating the mysterious death of her sister. Oddity was atmospheric and well-crafted and creepy as hell, and it brought us one of the coolest horror houses in modern movie memory. Number 4, is it really a horror movie? Well, Google says it is, IMDb says it is, Wikipedia says it is, so f*** it, we ball. It's What's Inside. To be precise, Wikipedia actually calls It's What's Inside a science fiction horror comedy mystery film. I'm not making that up, so hopefully that clarifies things for you. And this is a Netflix release about a group of friends whose lives start to unravel when at a party they test out a device that enables them to swap bodies. This is genuinely one of the most entertaining films of the year. It is thought-provoking, it is funny, it is unsettling, all kind of in equal measure. So you should watch it if you haven't. It's so good. Number 3, we're really getting into the heavy hitters now, folks. Strange Darling. When I hear the term experimental horror, unfortunately my brain goes right to Skinamarink and I want to punch a hole in the wall, so it's nice to be reminded that just because a movie is a little postmodern doesn't automatically mean it sucks. Willa Fitzgerald and Kyle Gallner are absolutely magnetic as a couple involved in a hookup gone wrong. I won't reveal too much, but the story gets unveiled non-linearly. It's a near perfect script, and it's honestly one of the best theater-going experiences I've had in a very long time. Now, if you've been watching my channel for the past couple of weeks, neither of my top 2 choices will surprise you. My number 2 movie of 2024 is Azrael. It's probably the least known about, the least talked about movie on this list, and actually a lot of people didn't really care for it. It's a movie about a post-apocalyptic cult that renounces their ability to speak, and as such, there's not a single line of dialogue spoken in the entire film. But a career best performance from Samara Weaving really elevates Azrael to soaring heights. This movie is gritty and primal and intense. I fucking loved it. And finally, no surprises here because Robert Eggers' The Witch is one of my favorite horror movies of all time. So I had high expectations going into this one. And yeah, my number 1 horror movie of 2024 is Nosferatu. Lily Rose Depp wins Nepo Baby of the Year as far as I'm concerned. I know Margaret Qualley, Gracie Abrams were trying to make a run at things, but Depp's got that shit on lock, I'm sorry. This is everything you want from an Eggers movie. Meticulous crafting, beautiful atmosphere, completely unhinged performances. Not every horror film lived up to the hype this year. Maxine, I'm looking at you, but I'm happy to report we truly did save the best for last. Nosferatu freaking rips, folks. All right, with that, we bid a fond farewell to 2024. And now that we're at the end of the video and all of you have stopped watching, I want to take just a moment to be sincere and just say thank you to all of you who have come to this channel throughout the year, who have watched my videos, who have subscribed to the channel, who have left comments, except some of you did make fun of my receding hairline. You can go f yourselves. But seriously, the channel more than doubled in size this year, which I'm very happy about, right? I no longer feel like I'm just shouting my opinions into the void. So thank you for being here, and I hope you keep tuning in. We'll keep the good times rolling in 2025, of course, so stay tuned for more spooky content coming soon. But until then, thank you for watching this video, and here's hoping you survive to see the next one.